I'm here in Paris, in Cité des Arts, to meet Maija Lassila, Finnish painter. We're here in Paris, Cité des Arts, which is in the center of Paris. There's a strike today, of course, because we are in France.
Yeah. Yeah.
So actually my train stopped 2 times.
Really?
I need to change, yeah.
Okay.
Because we are strike, so we stop everything.
Yeah, but you still got the train from the airport.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise I need to walk.
Yeah.
It's gonna be long.
I know.
So you participated in the book Paris-Budapest-metro, and it was last year. And in the interview, you talked about David Hockney, that how much you admire or you like his works, and we both were in London in the Tate to see his works.
Yes.
But when we came up with the elevator, you told me that you have another one. You have another a new love, maybe, I don't know. So tell me about this Bacon exhibition in Pompidou.
Yeah, well, I went to see there's a big exhibition of Francis Bacon in Pompidou now. And I'm embarrassed to admit that I hadn't seen any of Bacon's work live before. So this was the first time I saw the paintings, and other than from pictures. And then I was really impressed by this exhibition. I think to me it kind of was once again an assertion that painting is really its own kind of way of existing and making order out of things, and it was a really, I thought, magical exhibition, like thinking from the point of view of what painting is and can be and what it brings to the world.
But you know, Bacon is a bit complicated for me because he's well, at least for me, he's a bit depressive, you know, with this stuff. Yeah. But what you like the most in his paintings? Yeah,
there were a lot of these nightmarish even elements in the paintings, and a dark side, definitely. But I was kind of watching how they were painted, kind of how the individuals in the paint or the figures in the paintings dissolve into paint and itself. He had created this whole other world where kind of, I think it was a wonderful experience to see once again how painting is organized in space and in the two-dimensional form, and how it's kind of, there's nothing comparable to it. How paint becomes a figure and then it again metamorphoses into something else.
And the size, maybe.
Yes, and it all creates, and these lines, very like strict lines, and it all, and grids, it all created this very special order inside the painting itself.
So in the metro, when I was coming, I was thinking about the changing roles of an artist today, because maybe I mentioned already earlier that a lot of people uses just mobile phones, not reading books maybe, or they just doing Facebook and Insta, so that's not that deep maybe experience. And well, in Hockney we saw that he made these iPod drawings. I don't know how can you reflect maybe on this constantly inventions, or you just stay as you are and show what you can do?
You mean like as in my own art practice?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, well, of course, yeah, there are many new technologies and virtual technologies that allow for all kinds of new things for people to experience. But I think that still it's not maybe so important that what is the medium that you're doing it with, whether it's the latest technology or then if it's the painting that some people think is quite old and even like out of fashion and kind of done with. So I don't think it's the medium that we should question, but rather that what is done and said with it, how you use it. That's what interesting, whether it's painting or some very new technology today. But I think that technology in itself, if it's the latest one, it's not maybe so interesting. That's
interesting because I think I sent you this question before. that you know, with this technical innovation stuff, we are going to Mars, to the planet Mars, and exploring the space. But do this change anything in this Earth? I know it's not a question for you, but maybe you have some intentions.
Big question. Like, do you mean like with the advancement of like technological advancement and innovation and that?
I'm not sure, maybe, but you can do it in any way. You know, in the medieval age,
yes.
People thought that you know, there is this God and we are the center of the universe. Now, later with Galilei, they realized that the sun is the center of this stuff, and now we know that the sun is even just a small point, and we have a much larger scale and stuff. So we are not important in anyhow.
Yeah.
But how can we live with that knowledge?
How can we live in the knowledge of being so small?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's quite important to realize that we are very small, as like the human civilization is, or our lives, individual lives, are just a second or like a fraction of a second. I think even less in the time scale of the Earth, for example. And I actually think quite often the space, and I was just reading yesterday about the interstellar comets that are traveling now through our solar system. Two have been found now, that they have come from the interstellar space, and then they are traveling through our system. And this first one, this Oumuamua, I think the name, that was first found is somewhere between Saturn and Neptunus at the moment, and it will leave our solar system in 20,000 years. So
wow.
I think those kinds of facts make you think about your life in a different way, maybe, and but it's still incomprehensible. I think these kinds of scales do not fit into the human brain. They are just too much for handling, I think.
But do these facts interact with your paintings? I think so.
Oh, how do you find?
Well, this story is about you, not me. But what I see is that with the little abstraction you put in your paintings, that for me at least, this means that this has a wider meaning.
Well, yes. I think what's always been in painting for me, what's also like so important in painting for me is to deal with things that are not easily put into words. So maybe some kind of open questions of existence and our maybe relation to the world around. Is there some bigger whole totality that we are part of, that we only get glimpses of? Through art we can maybe handle or deal with this question.
And that's how we can go back to Bacon, because then it's about I'm not sure if I know well the word, but the under ego stuff, that what you're not realizing, but it's in your brain.
The unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for painting you have to use that level of your brain.
Yeah, and that level I think at the moment is very much in the society, in the modern capitalist society. That level of thinking is kind of, it's not appreciated. This sphere or realm of, and it's kind of, everything is very rationalized and calculated, and so, but all the more important it makes it to kind of hold on to that level as well, the unconscious, which connects people to the world around in different ways, and I think also to other beings, not just humans, in a way. Yeah.
You live in Finland, actually, and comparing to Paris, I think it's a place to have the possibility of thinking about the nature, of course. In your country there's a lot of lakes, a lot of wood stuff, but of course when you come to Paris, then it's going to be a different way of living. For me it's always a city that I want to be, and I want to live in that. So I just came all the time back. So did you actually?
Yes. I have. I came here first time when I was 9 years old. I came with my mother and my sister, and so I have, and then I came to study some 10 years ago for 1 semester, and I've traveled here every once in a while, and now this is my second time in the Cité also. So I'll see myself coming back also all the time.
So tell me about this catalog. You have work here?
Yes, this is an artist book, Elan. It has been edited by artists Anna-Liisa Krake, Felicia Maria and Paula König. And this is an international publication. It's inspired by the thinking of the painter and poet Ethel Adnan, her view of the world. And so this is in 3 languages, in English, French and German. And the artists in this book, their text and images of their work, where well, it's different kinds of text, but the combining element is the inspiration or kind of the world of Etel Adnan in a way, not so strictly, but more as an thinking of communication and communication and language and these kind of ideas.